Good evening and welcome back to Be Rich. We are here in Dubai and my nephew and good friend Shashwat Swaminathan is with me. So he has a mid-semester break in college and he decided to join me in Dubai. So in Dubai as we landed, we discovered quasi-quarantine, the new African origin Chancellor of the Exchequer burst a cracker. Why would say burst a cracker? Because he did something really stupid in my opinion. Something that his Prime Minister Liz Truss promised in her election manifesto. I'm saying in her election manifesto because she was fighting Rishi Sunak to become the Prime Minister. The whole world knew at that time this was a problem, but she has pressed on. What she has announced is a tax break for the very rich, and that is going to be costing about 1.8% of GDP. The other thing which she has done is to put a cap on energy prices, which will create more problems than it solves. So this is overall going to give something like 2 to 2.5% of GDP away. Where are they going to get this money? They are already having a large deficit. Their country is in recession. The answer is nowhere. They have given some glowing growth report and meant that growth in revenue, growth in the economy would lead to more revenue, which will fill this gap. But doesn't look like that's going to happen. And therefore, in the Wall Street Journal, I saw an article in which economics is being compared to her idols economics, her idol being Margaret Thatcher. But this is not going anywhere. There are a lot of differences. To discuss that is Shashwat with us.
Yeah, it's good to be back on the channel. And so I'll first start off with a few information points from the article and then we can build further on that. So, first off, this has been called, and factually so, the biggest tax cut ever since 1972. And so it was unveiled on 23rd of September, Friday. And the aim of the package is to help households and business owners with to cope with a surge in energy prices, and boosting growth. The cost of this package is going to be, or rather, the benefit of this package is going to be $169 billion. This is going to be the cost. And
Dollars or pounds?
dollars. $169 billion, a little less in pounds. The pound actually fell 1/5 against the dollar this year in general, and another 3% on Friday when this was announced. So it fell to $1.092, which is a 37-year low. And the short term and long term bond yields have risen by 0.3 percentage points. So quasi-quarting has basically said that they're going to have cut in payrolls, income taxes. The top slab of income taxes is going to receive a nice pay cut, and there's going to be a freeze in corporate taxes. There's also the cap on banker bonuses are going to be removed, and subsidy for electricity is going to be unveiled. So these are some of the policy promises he's making.
So he is making that he will spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
And hoping that the people will spend the money that they are getting.
Yeah.
And that will kickstart the economy.
The Keynesian multiplier effect.
Yeah. But the point is, there are several differences. Already, last time when Thatcher came to power for the first time, the UK debt to GDP ratio was 40%. It's now well in excess of 100%. At that time, foreigners were willing to support the British pound and buy British treasury.
Yeah.
But today, will they buy British treasury? The answer is no.
So, yeah. Because yields have been rising.
The yields have been rising. And also what will happen is the pound itself will start to fall.
Yeah.
So holding pound as a currency is not a wise thing to do.
It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So you're not going to get foreigners to buy British debt.
Yeah.
And
so that's one of the questions I have, because rates are rising, but the currency is also constantly.
yeah, so if I am not measuring my results in pound sterlings, Why will I buy it in? Why will I buy the British bond?
Right.
Therefore, it is very clear that they will have to print more money and it will create further inflation. And already the British Bank of England has increased interest rates several times and has increased
By
0.5 now,
0.5% to
point
2.25%.
2.25%.
Yeah.
So the fresh bonds that will get issued this year will carry a higher coupon,
Yeah.
which will make interest servicing also a problem.
Yeah.
And so,
But that's the interesting thing because they're planning to also cut on land tax or something like that.
so they are reducing revenue
Yeah.
and increasing expense.
Yeah.
So you will have to have somewhere where the revenue will be made up.
Yeah.
So if there's a revenue shortfall, they are going to further borrow more.
Yeah.
So basically, UK is going to get into a debt trap.
So the estimates for how much they have to borrow has been pinned to 72.4 billion pounds in the short
That's
term
about $100 billion.
and 300 billion pounds in the next 5 years
Yeah,
to fund a plan for 169 billion dollars.
exactly.
So my question is, why does it take 300 billion dollars to have an immediate impact of 169 billion
Then you
dollars?
need to pay interest on the bonds you borrowed.
So it's discounted.
It's discounted.
Okay. So over 5 years, it will amount to 300 billion dollars in borrowing.
Yes.
300 billion pounds, sorry. And so coming to that, there's been a comparison made of this policy with the Reagan's Imperial Circle.
Yes.
The thing which Reagan had going for him was that people loved USA and
No,
USA's
no, it was.
military stance.
See, at that point of time,
Yeah,
both Reagan and Thatcher, when they reformed,
yeah.
there were several things going for them.
But Reagan was in 85, right?
Yeah, and she was 89.
Yeah.
And she was already in 79 and she was into power. So Britain at that time had most of the industries in the government sector.
Right.
So there was a possibility of a lot of privatization and raising money.
Yeah.
The labor unions were strong and they were broken.
Yeah.
And more power went to the capitalists.
Right.
So there was a big reform waiting to happen.
So there needed to be a shift towards equilibrium there.
Yes, at this point of time, you are already debt to GDP is 100%.
Yeah.
And you don't have badly run public sector anymore.
Yeah.
Except in few exceptions, there are no big unions.
So it really doesn't make sense to have a Thatcher type reform because you don't need that.
There is no need for a Thatcher type reform.
Right.
What Britain needs is simpler land laws
So this is
and simpler,
showmanship.
yeah, and simpler way to build infrastructure.
Exactly. And that's another point which I wanted to come up to because the fundamental of any economic growth is land, labor, capital.
Yes.
If you have no access to labor because you have such stringent immigration policies,
Yes.
how are you going to fund growth?
You will not be able to fund growth. That's what I'm trying to tell.
Yeah.
And the British economy will go from bad to worse.
Right. Because wages don't seem to be, no one wants to work.
Nobody wants to work, and you are not allowing immigrants,
Yeah.
which will mean that wages will go up further.
And what is your take on fiscal policy and monetary policy moving in two different ways?
So it's always the monetary policy which trumps at these times. Unless fiscal policy becomes so restrictive that government claims ownership. But here the fiscal policy has gone to a level of irresponsibility
Yeah.
where thinks she can run this company with only borrowings.
So, coming to the point of what would be the best if let's assume that this plan wasn't unveiled, what would have been the course of action for Britain to fix that?
The British needed more austerity.
Yeah.
They needed lower spending on things which they don't need to spend.
Yeah.
And they should have been in a finance, they would have built a financially better position. And they needed to raise interest rates at a rate faster than America and not follow America.
So they actually needed to raise rates faster than America.
Yes, they should have.
But what about energy prices?
See, energy prices, again, higher energy prices will dampen demand.
Yeah.
Only people will remember the cold winter without gas, only when it's time to come to vote. Other than that, people have to put up with hardship, there's no choice.
But let's go with the case that they do raise their rates faster than the US. That will also lead to an appreciation in the pound, which would mean cheaper energy prices.
Yes, because you are basically, if we increase the value of pound,
Yeah.
Britain is a major importing nation,
So imports become cheaper.
cheaper.
So, in this case, a country where imports are greater than exports, it makes eminent sense to have your currency to be stronger than the
Yes,
average.
it does, but very difficult to
Sustain.
and manipulate that to that level.
So, to let it slide is a mistake.
The market forces are sliding,
Yeah.
and this stupid fiscal policy
Yeah.
has made the slide faster.
Right, because it slid by 3 percentage points in one day.
Yes, to make a new 37-year-old low,
Yeah.
but you will see a new lifetime low.
Right. Finally, coming on to the current course of action, they're going to be borrowing $300 billion or 300 billion pounds over the next 5 years. Where do you think Britain will stand in the next 5 to 10 years?
Britain is a old declining power, will continue to decline. It is now between India and UK, we are going back and forth. India has got its noses ahead now. But over a period of time, countries like India will go to the very top, and Britain will keep coming down because simply it doesn't have major labor participation.
Right.
So you need people on the field to work.
Yeah.
That the English white man is not willing to do.
Nor is he allowing anyone else to come and do it.
Yeah, so you should allow more people in,
Yeah.
so that this problem can be sorted out.
So if Truss really wanted to be like Thatcher, then she should have cracked down on this thing.
She should have freed up whatever she must have. She should have reversed whatever was Boris Johnson's
Yeah.
policy on immigration,
Yeah.
and allow free and fair immigration into UK.
Which is a way of busting unions.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have for you.
So you would come to know why the British pound has been hammered. The British pound has been hammered to a 20-year low and will continue to fall in coming terms. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel, turn on the bell notification. If you do not turn on the bell notification, you will not be notified whenever I put out a video. Once again, I thank you for your support for Be Rich. It's a great privilege and honor that so many of you in thousands have subscribed to my channel and have supported me. I have written 2 books in English, The Alchemy of Money and Ordinary Stocks, Extraordinary Profits. These books are published by us and are ready. If you want to procure a copy, send us a message to the WhatsApp number given below and my team would respond to you. If you want an Amazon Kindle copy, you can click the link below. Finally, those who wish to consult with me can send a mail to berichenglish@gmail.com. Once again, I thank you for your support. If you like this video, press the subscribe button of my channel, hit the like button and turn on the bell notification.